Hello, welcome, thanks for joining me. Another session in the garage. This time it's taking the carbs off a Yamaha YZF 600R. Why am I taking the carbs off? Just recently the bike has been struggling to start. If you watched an earlier video, I whipped the plugs out and cleaned them and thought that was the answer. It fired up straight away. The next day, it was a cold and damp day, but the next day it was back to carrying on, firing and then firing up, sometimes going on to multi-cylinders, sometimes just one or two. So we're not having that. Got to get to the bottom of it. The plugs were quite awkward to get in and out. And when I come to look at the carbs, well, another challenging task. Surely they're just mounted on 4 rubber manifolds, but getting at the clamp for each carb, well, it's beyond me at present. So we'll just have to work it out as we go along. If this starts to get a bit long, I might cut it into 2 videos. So we might just strip it, blast it, clean the carbs in this video, and then next video rebuild and fire it up. Okay, let's get into it. Having removed the seat and tank, we see that my carbs have K&N style filters, one for each carburettor. So I start taking the filters off. Looking at the fuel filter, it looks really dirty, so that's definitely due for a change. Using my method for taking the carbs off and sort of leaving them in place at the same time, you'll see later, I decided to take the fuel line off the rail. To join me, having just removed the fuel pipe from the rail, and I found that there was flex in the carb mounts to the cylinder head. So using some tubing underneath this alloy bracket on the fuel rail, I was able to apply leverage as well as rocking movement, and sure enough the carbs popped off. So it's as expected, 4 carb rubbers. How on earth we're supposed to reach it to tighten them, but my guess is I'll have a think about that. The plan is probably to slacken the clamps off so we can at least get the carbs started in the rubbers, and because we've had them off we can see the angles for the Phillips screwdriver positioning, so we'll have a good idea how to tighten them. Now the whole purpose of taking them off was to take off the float bolts, because just recently it's been harder to start, and I put that down to dirt in the carbs. So float bolts off, jets out, blast through with air. That'll be a good starting point. All I have to decide now is how much more I disassemble the carbs, or do I just whip the float bolts off in situ. Join me later. I've decided to try and clean float bolts and jets in situ. This is an idle control that just unclips from the right side of the bike, and this is a connector. I'm not sure what it does. So that was just restricting the tying up of the carbs, which I've done with a couple of these reusable tie wraps. Revisiting the clamps. So these are the clamps with the bolts. Still awkwardly placed. And I'm not sure how we get access to tighten them, but one plan of action is to loosen them slightly to give me a fighting chance of locating the 4 carbs into the 4 inlet rubbers. I think I'll be asking you to wish me luck on that, but because it came away readily with just a slight amount of force, then just finding an equal amount of force in a downward direction should enable me to connect all of the carbs again. That's certainly for another day. It's a steep learning curve when you get a new bike. I've been at this for years, but I still maintain that every day is a school day. So what I hope to do is create an area within this subframe which will be a parts tray. Lots of photos, but isolating one carb from the other as I take off the float bowl and then subsequent jets should enable me to have the confidence to rebuild it, knowing it's all going on the right carburetor. I'll pause now and start on these 4 bolts of each float chamber and just see how they get on. It's 4 cross-headed screws. I'll pause the video now. Floats, float jet, main jet, slow running jet, all removed so I can blow out the float pole and the jets. Blowing through this jet shows a clear run to the rail. Blowing out this jet. So it's a clear run to this side. a little bit of crud in a float bowl. Could have been possibly cleared by just unbolting this. But it's done now. Nice clear main jet. See through it. This, on the other hand, we can't see through it. Bit of blast of air just for good luck. Take care when you're using compressed air. If it gets inside any cuts, then could turn dangerous. So take care, and certainly wear glasses for any blowback. Just a point worth noting. This is blocked off. You feel it's solid, so the only movement is down this way and through those holes, little and large. So don't expect to get a full passage through it. When the main jet is screwed inside it, That's what controls the flow. Doesn't seem to want to start. There we go. So the main jet screws into the end, and that screws into the carb, and they'll both be nipped up. Screw this all the way down. Don't over tighten it, and then back it off 2 turns, half, 1, 1.5, 2. The float needle has a rubber tapered seat, and it just works within this orifice. It just hangs down, and it's all designed to work smoothly. And the whole assembly is trapped by a screw which head just stops this pivot pin from coming out. actually a shorter bolt. And then just check that the floats are moving. Nip up the jets we've just inserted. And repeat for the other 3 carbs. One tip, watch out for this bolt, this little screw. There's a similar screw in the carb that has a slightly bigger washer, and if you were to accidentally put that in place, it would stop this from sitting down easily. So watch for that. Put the right screws where they came from. Another tip while I'm in the area, make sure you put a rag pushed down the inlet rubbers if you're going to work on the carbs upturned as I am. Dropping and losing a nut, bolt or screw is annoying, but dropping it down inside the inlet rubbers, well, that could be even more challenging. So put a rag down, save that heartache.